She is in Africa. I want to say Nigeria, but I'm not sure. She's a wonderful virtual assistant. One of those virtual assistants that even though you know they're busy as a bee, they always make you feel like you're the only client. Right. So those are my favorites. So Sherry, thanks for being here. So glad you're here. Let's see who else we have. Jocelyn, hello. I'm not sure I know you yet, but I'm looking forward to getting to know you. Oh, yes, it was Coming Back to Me by Jefferson Airplane. There's another one that I like to sing called Today, which is, these are, you got to remember, this is the 60s, right? It's sort of the beatnik generation. It's the flower child. I was in San Francisco and went to San Francisco State in from 64 to 67. So I was there with all that stuff. And I sang in a band too, called The Stained Glass Window. Don't bother looking it up. Okay. Chirito Yamar is here. Hi, Chirito. Chirito is calling in from the Philippines, a wonderful, wonderful friend. And check her posts each day. They're spiritual and they're simple, and they have a picture of her, which is beautiful. All right. Coach Lee is in Chicago. Jocelyn's in Las Vegas. And Joni's here from Chicago. That's Elizabeth Hargrave. She's Elizabeth Joan, but I know her as Joni. Joni is a well-kept secret, aren't you, Joni? She has several businesses, and they would surprise you. She's very sweet and demure and loves to sing, but I think she's pretty good at business considering what I've learned about her. So get to know her. She's a mystery. There's Sharon Rose Winfield. She's the Gita girl, all about gratitude. Sharon Rose is probably more well-versed in the work I do than I am. I'm just beginning to find out how much she's studied. Now, for me, I've spent 17 years studying one particular view and evolving and building on that. But she has been with some of the most amazing teachers, and she said she'd be on this year. So I'm really excited. The purpose of this show is that we all teach the same thing. We're all at different levels of conscious awareness of our infinite potential. And it'll sound different to us at different times. Sometimes we're not ready to understand a concept. And then sometimes you don't resonate with the teacher, but you resonate with someone else. So just know that the information is pretty much the same. But what works like a tuning fork for you when you're ready? Out of confusion comes order or clarity. And when we're confused, when I'm confused, I hold back and don't take steps. But clear it up for me. If I, have a breakthrough and see what you've been saying, I'm right on it. So everybody kind of gets there at their own pace. Okay. So, Joni, you have 3 inches in, did you say in Chicago? Absolutely. All right. Susan's Landmark. She said, yes, Landmark. So we're going to have a panel of everybody who's done Landmark. We should have enough room. And then we can talk about transformation, not really about Landmark, but more like the technology. What is transformation? What does it feel like when you have a transformational experience? How do you recognize it? All right. I got to get moving here because we have such a wonderful... Yes, absolutely, Jackie. Happy to celebrate everybody doing so much. It's been a great year. There have been ups and downs, but you will notice, good thing I have a camera that I can see myself. You'll notice if you look back this year, you've had some low points, but you also had some matching high points. So one of the universal laws is the law of rhythm. And it's just like the tides. So for every low thing or lesson or thing that disappoints us or person that disappoints us, we already know there's a lesson in it. We want to move our thinking to, as fast as possible, what is the lesson? so that we can be objective and keep moving. We want to really try not to wallow in the disappointment, because when we're wallowing, we're not looking up. We're not recognizing people and opportunities that we've attracted to ourselves already. When people show up that we think are a coincidence, I'd like you to consider that there is no such thing as a coincidence. That what we want vibrationally is moving toward us at the same amplitude of vibration or velocity that it is moving toward us. So if we want a new opportunities and we've done the work for it, that person is already on the way as low-hanging fruit. But if we're worried and we're in disappointment for any more than a few minutes, you can catch yourself right away. Okay, what's the lesson? I may not be happy about it, but what is it? Then your mind clears, and when the person shows up, you can be grateful. Otherwise, I just walk on by, as Dionne Warwick said. Walk on by. Hi, Felipe. Cofino is here. So glad to see you, Felipe. Felipe is a wonderful friend and mentor. He's a business coach. He works in human resources. He has several really great live shows that he doesn't do them by himself. He has two, one with Melissa Houston on Sundays, every other Sunday morning at 11. And then he has a Monday night workplace wellness hour at 8 p.m. every other Monday. So thank you, Felipe, because I know you're working full time, right? And as many of us are, for dedicating all that time to us on the weekend and in the evening. And he's a new international best-selling author. So how about that? A big year for many of us. Omar is here. Omar M. Hi, Omar. So happy to see you here. Omar is the godfather of Zoom Party, the originator and the creator, and a heck of a nice guy. He does interesting, kind of out of the box games, and he has a Sunday show at noon called Do We Really Know Them? So he thinks quite differently than most of us, or than I do, but it resonates with me. And Catherine Chadwick is here. Hi, Catherine. Catherine is one of our teachers, guest teachers, a wonderful, wonderful friend. She also shows up almost every Thursday at 11 a.m. on Empower Hour with Donald Cohen, 11 a.m. Eastern live. So you can catch Catherine there almost every single week. And Kinga Vida is here. Hi, Kinga. So glad to see you. Lots of excitement because I guess I can say it. Kinga is Jackie's guest tonight at 9 o'clock live. So I'm very excited for her and for all of us, actually. And Megan, thank you from YouTube. This is wonderful. NK, I have seen you before. I appreciate your being here. All right. I guess I got everybody now. I just want you to know that when you tell me something good about me, it's always better than what I would think about myself. And so I believe that acknowledgement and being heard and listened to is super, super powerful. And because of that, we have got a special guest that I'm going to bring up right now, the one and only Shawn Michael. There you are. Hi, Shawn. How are you today?
I am well.
Wow. What's going on in the background there, buddy?
It's my little new machine. But here's the love for you and everyone else, Leslie.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, everybody knows you. And if you don't, let me just tell you just a little bit about Shawn in case you missed it last time. He was with us two other times. Shawn's philosophy is building success from the inside out rather than chasing. And he works with high achievers who have outgrown their identity. And I don't know whether they know they have or not. Maybe you would help them figure that out and are ready to lead from congruence rather than performance. So he also works with founders, coaches, and executives who have hit that invisible wall with no strategy, a wall that no strategy can fix. And so his work is more than quick fixes and mindset work. It's a process that recalibrates how you think, decide, and how you lead so performance naturally improves. Was that, did I do okay with that, Sean?
That was excellent, Leslie.
Yay! I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Well, welcome. And let's go ahead and get started because we've been practicing this. Sean and I had a nice long conversation. And I'll tell you something. Let me do this, Sean, and I want you to listen to this too. So I was doing some planning for next year, and I've created a matrix of mind work, right? All of those who understand mind, not talking about brain specifically. It is nice to have a little bit of brain too, rather than all brain and no mind. So this is all about mind because really what you think changes the brain. I mean, you'll have neuro people that don't even know that. The brain does everything, brain, 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 brain. Well, what about mind? Oh, well, I'll describe the mind based on the brain, right? So here are the different, let's just say, perspectives that I want to encourage this year for guest teachers. And you don't have to be a master at it. You just have to have points that you've used and that you have results from yourself and maybe a few other people. But we have, we had the transformational, also Silva mind control. Okay, Jose Silva grew up in the 50s. He's the one who can walk you inside your conscious mind. He taught people how psychics, how they can get inside someone's body from a distance. It's amazing technology. And I got certified in it a long time ago. Very cool. We have EFT, which is tapping, right? That's a good one. So I'm looking for guest teachers, and it could be you. Also, the research about mind and body, if anybody knows about Bruce Lipton's work or James Brody's work, the actual scientific study that says that what you think changes your body. It's cellular, the vibration is. Somatic practices, that word is new to me. Narcissism, hypnosis, NLP, coaching, therapy, maybe not, Tai Chi, and affirmations. So those are some ideas for next year. So if you know anybody, let me know. And if I've missed anything, let me know. Okay. All right, here we go. Let me get this right. There we go. All right, I'm going to shut this off right now. And Felipe is saying hello to you. Nurhan, okay. Sharon Rose has got lips and kisses, and Mary Kay, hi, a new friend. Thank you so much for being here. And look, if I miss you, it is not intentional. I'm very grateful to all of you. So here we go, shall we? We're going to start off with just a little recap of some of the fun stuff about Sean. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to do something else first. Sorry. I forgot I got this out of order. So you're here for this. Okay. Today's advocate for Mind Over Matter Monday is Lisa Fevick. And when I found this picture, oh my gosh, I'm not even sure she's here. But I have to tell you, I have placed crowns on people's head on this slide before. She actually had a picture with a crown. So Lisa is a registered dietitian and works primarily with the menopause years, pre, peri, post, and during, and what you might eat to exacerbate diminish some of the over 100 symptoms that you or your partner have experienced or will experience or are experiencing. But the foods are actually good for you in general. But who knew that there were all these wonderful foods that could help you maybe not have so many night sweats or whatever the side effect is. She's always here, and she's a quiet support. I can always count on her. So thank you so much, Lisa, for how you support. I see you and I feel you, and you're also a Sagittarius sister. So Sagittarian women are the most beautiful. Okay, so and we're also the smartest, and we're both Sagittarians. There are some young boys around 8 years old that are quite brilliant that are Sagittarians. Sean, you may know one. I don't know for sure, but you just might. All right, here we go. All right, so she says that she's trying very hard to turn these. Us about these beautiful pictures again. Who is this gorgeous woman with you?
That is my lovely wife, Michelle. We will actually, the third week of January, celebrate 33 years together.
Wow.
And
Just
so
wow.
the picture on the left was actually our anniversary lunch at a Chinese hot pot restaurant in the capital city.
That was a Freudian slip, I think.
Potentially. And the
Yeah.
second one was a little getaway trip we took next door to the country next door, El Salvador. Even though we've been down here in Central America 12 years, that was the first time we'd ever gone there. And it was wonderful. And it's breaking the mold for Central American countries because the president is really like cleaning things up, improving life for everyone. So it was really neat to experience that.
I love it. And then what's the one with the heart over your head? That looks like
That's the one in El Salvador. That was
Oh, that's the one.
in
Okay.
El Salvador, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing that again.
And of course, the person who's missing, we did that for safety's sake, is my 8-year-old Sagittarian, Angel.
And you could hear him in the background. Yeah, I try not to put children's pictures in here because I don't know. Aren't they great? Lee says they're lovely. They really are. They really are. Thank you for sharing that. We want people to know you other than an identity disruptor. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let me make sure I got everything right. All right. So you probably won't remember everything that that Sean spoke of before, but these teaching points are amazing. Sean and I talked for, I think it was an hour on Saturday, and I took copious notes because what I'm trying to do, my intention here is that I can ask questions about this and I can relate it not only to my work, but to other people's work. Because remember, it's all the same. And so you want to look for, it's kind of like a matrix of mind. And so that's why we had some of the best conversations are before the Monday is like on Saturday. We were hitting on all 8 cylinders, weren't we? So let's start. Well, okay, so this is an identity reset to end the year. And these are mind shifts for a powerful year. And you see there's 4, identity versus self-image. So first he's going to distinguish those two things because I kept asking him, well, is it the same as self-esteem? Is it the same as image? What is identity? Trying to get my arms around it. I got my arms around it now. And then emotional signals are identity signals, which is really clever. And then he's going to talk about the power of pause. And that, you've heard that phrase before, because I use it too, but this is where your identity updates. It's the F5 for your mind, right? Oh, you can use that, by the way, because F5 is one of my favorite things. Hello, Darshia. Thank you so much for being here on LinkedIn. So take it away, my friend. We're going to go through 2 points. We've got about 5 minutes for the first 2. Then we're going to have a break from our sponsor. And then we'll finish up the last 2. And then Sean's starting something quite clever in January that you'll want to know about. And let me say hello to Nicole Angai Galindo. Hi, Nicole. So glad you're here. She is the owner of Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing House, and she has a client's launch on the first day of the year on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And we're so glad that you're here. Okay, take it away, my friend. We're going to start with the distinction between identity versus self-image. Tell us, enlighten us, please.
So the way that I approach this and the way that I see it,
Mhm.
self-image is
Mhm.
how I see myself, right? It's the reflection in the mirror as a
Okay.
metaphor, right? It's identity is who I'm being from, like who I am at the core, who I really am. This kind of connects with authenticity. Self-image is reactive and it can change based on feedback, success, fear, we talked about, right?
Mhm.
Threats.
Mhm. Mhm.
But identity is generative. It's the code underneath that controls the response.
I like the way you see yourself, because when we talk about our fears and our ego and all those elements, that's one thing. But identity is different. It is how I see myself as the whole person, not just the reaction of the fear, right? Is that like, and so how I see myself in as I show up in the world, is that fair?
Mhm. Yeah, it's like when I learned in counseling class or or entry psychology, they call it the Johari window,
Okay.
right? It's if you think of a window with curtains, there's the level that you think you are showing through the curtains,
Mhm.
and then there's the what others are actually seeing.
And what others are seeing is going to be unique to them, right? And their perspective
Right.
and
Yeah.
their
Their perception. Yes.
okay.
Their own beliefs, etc. Their own thoughts, self-image, what's happening in their mind about you.
Okay, got it. Got it.
And
I
as far as
think.
self-image, we can do the work to improve self-image,
Yeah, yeah.
but find ourselves repeating patterns, right? We
Absolutely.
take the steps to update the self-image and then we fail.
Well, that's because yeah, and we know the reason why is we give up too soon. We don't have a good enough reason, right?
Right.
We have too many uh, compelling events going on and can't decide. So, yeah, I think I got it. Let me just say hello to Angie Alexander. Hi, Angie. So glad to see you here. Susan says, love the Johari window. Okay, so I think that you guys have it. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments, because if you people listen again, they're not only going to get what Sean is saying, but also what you offered.
Absolutely.
So I think I got it.
I have two simple prompts that help distinguish this to close this out.
Between identity and self-image?
Self-image. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Self-image asks this question: how do I look or feel about myself? Like I
Okay.
said, it's the reflection, right? It's like Maxwell Maltz in Psycho-Cybernetics.
Mhm.
He was perplexed how two people could have the same surgery and be improved, and one opened like a flower and the other one didn't change. They
Well,
have a new self-image, right? They
it's
changed
a
their appearance.
physical image though,
Yeah.
right?
But
Yeah.
the problem is the self-image, the identity didn't change.
That's right. That's right. How you see yourself didn't change. So, one of the things about Maxwell Maltz was that he took a severely disfigured person, right, who had always been that way. I mean, really severely, and made them look okay. But their identity still saw them as the disfigured image. That's a great
Right.
distinction. What's the other question you had to ask?
Identity asks, what is the place I'm choosing from right now?
Choosing from, what is the place? So, what places are there Is it the way we're being? So from the place I'm choosing, what are those places if we're making choices?
Right. It's the choice, we often misuse identity. We talked about this on Saturday, right? I
Yeah.
am an engineer. I'm a coach. I'm a whatever. We're choosing an identity. That's not bad or good. That's an identity we're choosing.
I see. I see. So it's really objective rather than reactive.
And that's the beauty of identity is we can update it. We can change who we believe we're being.
I like that. I like that. Okay. So I thought I got this. But anyway, thank you. Thank you. Anybody who has any questions, Susan says Psycho-Cybernetics is a great book. And Craig Greshel, according to Kimberly Lechnick, has a wonderful book entitled The Power to Change. He talks about how our identity drives our behavior. Excellent.
Identity drives everything.
But our thoughts drive our identity, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Our thoughts. Yeah. Well, I would posit, and you probably agree, Leslie.
Yeah.
It's all thought.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
an inside out understanding.
Exactly.
Everything, my feelings, my identity, my self-image, it's all thought based.
That's right. That's right. So it's vital that the only thing we can control is what we think, how frequently we think it, and how we feel when we think it. Those are the three keys. And if you can be consistent and you're compelled enough to be consistent toward a certain end, you'll be home free. Okay, let's go on to emotional signals, our identity signals. Now, we talked a little bit about the engineer. So why don't you take it away?
So here's my pretense.
Yes.
Emotions are not problems to fix.
I like that. So emotions are fears and they're not problems to fix. True.
They are signals that let us know, are we in identity alignment or are we in identity misalignment?
Okay, and what is alignment here?
Alignment, as an example, anger often is a violated boundary or an unmet need.
Got it.
That's the misalignment, right? Is you're pursuing the identity that isn't truly the identity that you need and want, right? Maybe it's an assumed, a borrowed identity.
Okay.
Right. And I know personally, I went through many transformations. I was the teenager from a divorced family. I was the sailor sailing the Pacific Seas. I was the facility engineer for the largest telecom company in the US that went belly up later. And I've gone through these transformations, but none of them really fit, right? When we're not operating in identity, our real identity of who we need and want to be, we're going to feel the exhaustion, the anxiety, the anger, the frustration, sometimes even sadness.
So we're trying to actually fit ourselves into an identity. Is identity authenticity?
It's closely tied.
Okay.
Right.
So,
I see authenticity as expressing ourselves from our true identity.
But you'd also have to see yourself as authentic, or would you? Would you recognize that you're being authentic?
I believe you would. You that's part of the process, is to realize, like, yes, this is authentically me. This is aligned with who I am. What are my top values?
So anger is one. What's another emotional signal another example that we would get, and we'd say, "Oh, okay, we need an identity update," or something is misaligned. Is that what we're looking for, Sean?
Yeah, the constant frustration, or I would even say a lack of joy,
Mm, mm,
right? That Monday dread, right? How many songs are there? Tell me why I don't like Mondays. And how many people live for the weekend and like, it's Monday again.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah. So what is there to so how all right, so the next one you have a bit I want to be able to identify my own emotional signals. So how would I go about finding the first one? Give me
So
an example.
we're looking for the patterns, the repeating the emotion that constantly comes up.
Okay.
That's
Persistence of a pattern. Okay.
the persistence of a pattern, right?
Got
You're
it. Got
having,
it.
sometimes we call it triggers, right?
Mhm.
It's the emotional reaction. We might feel like it's just the circumstances. No, let's go back. It's our thoughts about their circumstances that drive the emotion.
Mhm.
So that repeated emotional reaction or signal is telling us we're living in an outdated role, an outdated identity,
Okay.
or the very, very strong emotions. Especially like if you're going, why am I feeling this so strongly? Like, I don't understand. My wife has gone through this. Like, she just tears up and she's like, why am I tearing up? And so we do the work to dig in and like, what's the issue here? What's the signal trying to tell you of where
So
you're out of alignment?
do we have to have a coach to do that like you, or is there something, so is simply becoming aware and asking the question the
That's
actual
definitely the starting point. Yes, a coach can help accelerate that awareness.
Mhm.
As I said on another event, nobody needs a coach
Mhm.
and everybody needs a coach.
I think everybody should want one. Well, I shouldn't say should, but for me, you know, need tells me that there's something wrong. So, right? So, but if I want one, there's something right. I want to,
Right. Or if I get to work with a coach to help me identify my blind spots,
yeah.
right? We all have blind spots and you can't see them. That's why they're called blind spots.
Well, and those are your fears. And certainly with the things that you're afraid of, they come from real experiences. And we remember them and we visualize them and it brings us down. So we have a low cellular vibration. And that's not where we want to be. But those things are real. So that's a big indicator. Like the top two are fear of poverty and fear of criticism. So if we really want to do something, like take a course as example, right?
Mhm.
Very often the first reaction is, I can't afford it. But yet we know that when we really, 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 really want something, and that is our true identity, right? That is intuition going, you will find them, you will attract the money. The money will no longer, the desire to do that thing outweighs the fear. And that kind of goes along with the way I think and teach, is that there's always another choice, right? There's an opposite choice. There's the reframe. If it's negative, we can make it positive. If it's a poor thing that happened, we can immediately look for the lesson, as I mentioned in the beginning. So are you ready to go on?
Yes, we can go
Okay.
on.
All right. So let's do this really. Oh, yeah. Wait here. Hang on a second. Here's what I want to do.
Excellent.
Okay, I have to think about what I'm doing. Yeah, thank you. It is. And You understand this better than I do. And even after our 1 hour talk, I will be honest with you. I'm going to have to go back and listen to this again. I'm still, I'm still working through what this is. Even with all that I know, this concept has got me, is challenging me. Let's put it that way.
I get it, Leslie. I've been working through it for years.
Okay, good. Before I want to run this, but there was a question here. Oh, I just want to.
Was that Nicole's?
Yeah. Do we really need to be overly concerned about how others perceive us? If I be myself and comfortable in it, I won't act differently to cater to a way I might think I should be perceived, such as an established businesswoman. To some I am, to others I'm not. What are your thoughts on that?
No, we do. And Coach Lee addresses this very well. I would say aware of others' thoughts or how perceptions of us.
Sorry for
and
cutting
question ourselves, like, okay, is that a blind spot? Is that something I need to address? Or is it not? Right? This isn't about conforming or trying to fit, to be comfortable, right? But it is an awareness of their perception could be accurate. Am I being a jerk?
Well, yeah, but they have to understand what being a jerk is to notice the jerk in you. Keep that in mind, right? We see in others who we are. So
exactly. Our judgments are meant to be our mirrors.
Okay, so let's take a look at this. And I don't know how to do this exactly, but I'm going to put you in the studio just for a minute. So maybe I can make this bigger. Let's see if we do it this way. Yeah, there we go. And so excited, everybody, and grateful to Stanley Green, the CEO and president of Power Thinking Corp, now has a brand new Power Thinking app, which allows you to join his Wednesday 7:30 a.m. Eastern and 9:30 p.m. Eastern live broadcast over 5 different channels. This month, there is a 30-day free trial with the application. All you have to do is go to your app store and download it. You'll know by this little P. It's an unusual logo, and you will get to use the app for free. And Stanley loves to hear about anything that you think they should change or that would be better, right? Would be better for you. For example, I couldn't read the very light text on the menu, right? And even the stuff inside was done in a light gray. Plus it's small on the phone, and they made it darker. So, I really appreciate that. All right, let's move on to, because we're running low here, the power of the pause, where identity updates, and then take a few minutes there and a few minutes with completion before creation, please.
So we talked about this Saturday, right, Leslie? The pause is when we allow ourselves to get quiet enough to hear that inner voice, as you mentioned, to break free from reaction, right? Because reaction happens instantly. But if we pause, we take ownership, and now we're driving the boat.
Do you believe we have 2 voices?
Okay, tell me more. I'm curious.
So one is the voice of fear, and the other one is the voice of faith. One is subconscious, automatic, reactive, not thinking. The other one is your higher side, where you've paused. We talked about, I brought up an example of, so this, okay. So if you think about this, Neil Falora told me this, and I kind of love this, and I want to, oh, geez, Happy New Year. Picture one of these old seesaws, right? Big wooden seesaw painted green. And on one side is the voice of fear and, ego and all that. That's not really thinking, it's more reaction, as you said, immediately. And the other side is your higher side, where I believe the universe exists always. And it's after we pause. So if you step to the middle of the seesaw, that's the pause. Am I correct on that?
That's a good metaphor. And actually, as you were talking about that, I 100% agree with the two voices.
Okay, thank you.
And I had the picture of the old cartoons I watched when I was a kid of the angel and the devil on the shoulder kind of picture. That was the picture that came to my mind. And that's exactly my question. We talked about this Saturday. Take the pause and say, who's speaking right now? My fear, my ego, or my future?
Right. And I see fear and ego as the subconscious reactive, and the future is the guidance from God and our higher side.
The deeper, higher collective even.
Right. So you can, so you can, I mean, it doesn't matter, but now you see how I think it, he thinks it, but it's very closely aligned in that what we want to do is, when we catch ourselves being reactive, to pause a minute. And as you said, who's speaking now? Well, it's obviously not your higher side. Right? It's something negative, right? It kind of reminds me of, okay. So I think we got that. Now you say that this is where identity updates. So that's when you become consciously aware and you take steps.
Yeah. In the pause, our identity becomes more visible. And you can even take steps like controlled breathing, intentional breathing, to reduce the nervous system, because that's the thing. We have our thought reactions, and the body, you mentioned somatics, the body has a reaction. It automatically triggers before our brain even realizes what's going on.
The brain is the last to know.
Right. Or even the thoughts, like even the mind doesn't like the body is already tensed up because of what it's conditioned for, right? That this is danger. This is something to be afraid of or anxious about. So taking the breath, labeling it, right? I am feeling anxious over this because what are the thoughts that we're having about what is this bringing this anxiety? It lets the nervous system quiet down so that we can hear that higher voice. Because often, like you said, that higher voice is always talking. The problem isn't it doesn't go quiet. It's that we're listening other ways.
We can only, so only one thought at a time. So one outweighs the other. That's right. And it's typically fears and that reactive, automatic, however you look at it, that quashes out the whispers of the universe, of your higher side, because only one can survive. It's faith or fear. And I've learned that we have perfect faith in our fears, right? We had them and we relive them and we feel crappy about it. And that's not what we want to be doing. Okay. All right. Let's go over to completion before creation, because we're real close to the end here. And
we're right there.
We talked. So make this simple for me.
So we don't want to build the new year on unfinished identity loops.
Okay.
If we haven't completed the emotional role, we will unconsciously carry those into the new year. And a lot of this is why we have good intentions at the beginning of the year, like get in shape, lose some weight, A, B, C, D, whatever you put in there. And then, middle of January, early February, it's like, what happened to it? Why aren't we following that anymore? I see it this way. Completion is not erasing the old.
Right.
It's honoring it and releasing it. Like, you've done your job.
Yep.
I'm not bringing you into the new year.
Thank you very much for the lessons, but see you later. Bye.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Now, I don't want everybody to go before it's a minute over, but listen, if you have any questions, you've got to reach out to Sean. But Sean, tell us, oops, this. Sorry, I put mine in the wrong place. Okay. Tell us about this thing that's coming up that's starting January 19th briefly so people can reach out to you and find out more about this 6-week program that you're running, please.
So based on my learning, my experience, I've created the Real Mastery Identity Reframe Intensive. It's 6 weeks of going through step by step, level by level, to help us clear the decks, rewrite our identity where it needs to be to go into the new year, to stop crashing into the wall or the ceiling. You know, I think of when I was a kid, a bird got in the house and I kept trying to direct it towards the window and it kept crashing against the closed window instead of going out the open window. And a lot of our life we're bumping against the window. So 6 weeks intensive. It's a group of 5 people. So you get not only my input, but you also get the signals and the input from the other participants, which is very, very powerful, as we've demonstrated, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like a nice mastermind. So, okay, so Sean, one last word to everybody before I put you back in the studio and we close out the show. What would you tell us to do in preparation for New Year's Eve the next year? What one thing could we do that will make a big difference for all of us?
So a final question and then a statement. What version of you did its job this year and no longer needs to lead? That's a personal question. Look at what's the role, what's the identity that did a job this year, but it doesn't belong in the new year. Because growth doesn't come from becoming someone new. It comes from releasing what no longer fits who you already are.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sean. And you'll be surprised to see what I'm going to do this Friday, but I'm going to put you back in the studio. Everyone, let's give Sean a big round of applause. Thank you so much for working us through this. I could use another one. I need to listen to this again, right? Because I'm still grasping. You see, it takes a little while for each of us to find our way inside the explanation and the articulation of a different teacher. But once you do, it's a really rich foundation for understanding. Then you can actually start teaching other people and helping other people. But you have to get it yourself first.
And that's the beauty. If you've ever seen the retention pyramid, Leslie, if you hear it, read it, even do it, it's a very small retention, but teaching it to others, it's 90% retention.
Yes, you have to yes, you have to. There's like something that happens when yeah. All right. So thank you for being here. I'm going to move you back in the studio and I have one more tiny thing to share. Thank you so much, Sean. I hope you'll come back again this year because this has been awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. And so you should know that I'm going to start the Think and Grow Rich, etc. a week from Friday. So we're going to round out this live from the vault this Friday. From 111. It's supposed to be 11 a.m. It's my new time for Monday and Friday. And Sean, I promise I'll end on time on Mondays and send everybody to your room. Okay. So this is about our self-image as a cybernetic system. And we're going to be talking about a peek into psycho-cybernetics. So I think it's the perfect segue. And Charles Lewis, hi, Charles. Charles says, a real cognitive conversation. Yeah. Thank you for being here. Yeah, this is good. Let's take a look at a few of these if you want to hang out. These are really good comments. Really, really good. All right. Oh, we have an hour buffer. Okay. Listen to what he says. He knows. Okay. And Christy Williams is here. Hi, Christy. So glad you're here. So this is coming up this Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Lay, Scheidel is here. Lay, that'll have you get up a little bit later because she's on the West Coast. And thank you so much for being here. And by the way, Happy New Year, because I won't see you till Friday or next Monday. And thank you so much. I'm so glad you could be here. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here and hanging out. It really means a lot. So I'm going to end the stream with the intro and tell you all Happy New Year. And I can't wait to see what this is going to bring for all of us this next year. All right, everybody, be blessed.